I'm ready. Stu Man here from the Four Outdoorsman. Thanks for listening to my little 3-minute gig here. Thanks for Devil's Lake Tourism, Lakes Trading Company in Forest Lake, best gun shop in the Twin Cities as far as I know, and Coors Light, of which we've had a couple tonight as well. Hey, I like to talk a lot about Ely, Minnesota, and deer hunting and all that, and I like to have a lot of fun. I'm not as serious as Boomer. He'll teach you all the stuff about hunting and fishing. I just like to have a lot of fun. Playing softball years and years ago, I was probably 25 years old or so, and I meet a young girl named Chris in St. Paul at the Duluth Case Playground. She's playing in a softball tournament as well. Very attractive, long hair, and we just held a conversation, saw her 3-4 times, and I knew she liked the outdoors, is what she said. And so I said, I've got a cabin up in Ely, Minnesota. My buddy Big Rick, who I've spoken about a couple of times in the show, and his lady friend are going to be up there. I was letting him use the cabin. How about if we join them? No hanky-panky, just come on up for the weekend and just have a good time. She said that'd be great. I said, but I teased her. I said, there's no electricity. And she could laugh. She goes, oh, I'm not concerned about it. And she's laughing about that. I said, well, we have gas lanterns. And I said, there's no indoor plumbing. We have an outhouse. And she laughed, and she thought that was, I'm just having a good time. So I pick her up on Saturday morning, whatever days, maybe Friday, with Big Rick and Mary Rose, and we drive up to Ely, Minnesota, stop a couple of times on the way up there, get to the hunting shack on Mud Creek Road. She's cute as a bug's ear, boy. And all of a sudden we get in my hunting shack, and it's like the size of a 3-car garage maybe. And I've unpacked my bag, and I see her unpack her bag, and the first thing I see her take out of her little suitcase is a curling iron. We don't have electricity. And I thought, shit, we're in trouble here, And I said, Chris, what's the curling iron for? Well, I like to look good in the morning. I said, Chris, we don't have electricity. And I thought, oh, man. Then I see her walking around a little cabin looking through corners, and I says, Chris, what are you looking for? She said, I'm looking for the bathroom. I said, Chris, it's 30 yards down the trail, man. This was the longest 3 days of my life. She never took her clothes off, and it was just then we get up the next morning to go fishing, and we're up in Ely, Minnesota. We're going to go fishing on Lake Vermilion. And she spent 40 minutes putting makeup on. No one's going to see this lady for the next 3 days except us. It was an absolute catastrophe. Now, to top it off on the way back, we're heading down 35E, and Big Rick Longevin is driving, and we gets pulled over for speeding or a taillight or something like that. It turns out that he had a warrant for his arrest. They hauled him away. I had to drive home the rest of the way to St. Paul. I forget what the warrant was for Big Rick, but he had to spend the night in jail like in Cloquet or something. A lot of laughs in Ely, Minnesota. Thanks for listening to the Four Outdoorsmen. Take care. Have a great night.